spasmodically squirming, braying, and snorting half-corpses were heaped each upon the other until at last I was rid of them. The warrens had become a landfill of snout and hoof, gristle and bone, a mountainous, twitching mass of misshapen flesh fusing itself together in the darkness. The thing is more terrible than I can describe. An incoherent jumble of organ, sinew, and bone.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Your host, The Raven, here, bringing you some more Darkest Dungeon action. This time, after my recent success in my first Darkest run, going as, assaulting the final dungeon, I was like, okay, well, let me try to, fight some more of these bosses, do some more work in the town, get a little bit more experience, take the experience I had from the Darkest run and apply that to, my boss encounters. So the Warrens, I had already defeated the Swine God down there, so the only thing left was the Formless Flesh. I'd beaten the first two forms, and because I've done that, I had counted myself familiar with the Formless Flesh, but obviously I wasn't as familiar. A lot of things surprised me. Its difficulty is just insane. This is champion level. These heroes, their skills are max level. Their camping skills are max level. And just real quick, I want to comment this. The first fight, I was like, dang it, because you see the Swinotar champion. Them things aren't a joke. Also, my party is weak to stress. I don't have a stress healer. Every party has a weakness. There is no super party. There's some parties that kick, major ass. I have some good teams that I've been developing for a while, but there is no perfect party. I'm weak to stress. So we have a stressor, plus we have high damage, which that's why I bring the Vestal. The Vestal, I have to say, is hands down one of my favorite classes to use. It's just so useful. I mean, saving your party members' lives, being able to complete the mission just by the simple fact that you're still breathing. The Vestal is just insane. Using my experience, I equip my people with I just wanted them to do exactly what they're supposed to do. Heal. For the Vestal, the Man-at-Arms, he's protect, so he's geared with protect. My Hellion, and she's there to do damage, and my Leopard, he's there to do damage. Also, I don't want him being stunned, so you have to do what you can. But the Swinotar champion's powerful. The drummer, he causes stress, which my party is weak to. So already the first fight is like, dang, but this is Darkest Dungeon, and like it would be boring if it wasn't that challenging. But still, you can't relax. You have to stay focused, because every little thing counts. And I made some errors as tactical wise, like not using bandages immediately, not using poison, blight, healing immediately, because as you play the other difficulties, you play the other missions, you get used to kind of like, well, this bleed damage isn't so bad, this blight damage isn't so bad. So you take that same mentality into the final fights, and it's like, no, you need to heal every single bleed, no matter how small it is, because that one hit point or 2 hit points that bleed damage might take out a round can mean the difference between a death door check and you dying, the character being killed, just getting a crit and being put on death door. Like, if you have 2 extra hit points, like what if you have 39 hit points and you get crit for 37? Those 2 extra hit points keep you from going on death's door, keep you from dying. So it's like everything needs to be addressed immediately. Obviously, I didn't have that experience, but one thing I can say about this first fight is the fact that its difficulty sobered me up really quickly. Just because I was successful in the Darkest Dungeon doesn't mean, in the first run, doesn't mean that you just rip through anything else. It's like, wow. And I kind of slept on this pig guy, the drummer guy, because I was so focused on getting the Swinotar champion down that I kind of slept on the drummer. But once my Leopard got sufficiently buffed, that's another thing about my party. It is slow, So that, that's another weakness that need to work out. I've been trying other combinations, but I still like protect on the man at arms. It just seems to work out better. See, and riposte helps you do damage back. So because while he's busy blocking and buffing, riposte lets him add some damage, however slight, to it. And see, look, 36 crit. I mean, already a character on Death's Door debuffs. She's stunned. I mean, she is, annihilated. That's the Swanatar champion, and it's insanely how powerful they are. And this is look, crit heal. This is the thing why I love the Vessel so much, because yes, she's stunned, but she's not dead. She does have some Death's Door debuffs because I'm playing on default difficulty. I haven't nerfed any of those problems or whatever they come with dungeoning. So she's stunned. She's got the Death Door debuffs. She's out of position. I mean, and she's still getting hammered, and this is where I decide, hey, my man in arms, he needs to really protect. It's because sometimes you focus on setting your plan, like, oh, the man in arms, he's gonna protect the Vestal, so she can keep healing, blah blah blah. But there's times where it's like, no, you need to change your strategy because this person's gonna die if you don't protect her. So I put the protect on her because she's just getting stunned. This protects her while she moves back into position and keeps her from taking another hit from the Swanatar champion. See, and luckily that didn't stun him. And I did have a fear of stuns, but now I'm more concerned about just them being able to protect. The stun can happen, but you do get a slight protection against it once you are stunned. So it's not and it only lasts for a round. It can't last unless you're restun, the next round. But each stun is only a round, and it's a threat, but it's not the biggest threat as I thought. But anyway, we definitely have to get these two down. I'm waiting on my leopard to go, and this is one of the times I'm cursing the speed of my party. It's like, oh crap, But anyway, I'm glad that he's hitting though. Like, I set him up for. That's the biggest problem with the leopard. He's powerful. His sword and his short range melee strikes are very powerful, but he's inaccurate by nature. So it's like, man, you'll get these guys will be dodging. They'll be doing all types of things. So we resisted the stun. We resisted the move. Good job on. I got the bracers on him, so he is protected against move resist. Crit heal again from the Vestal. That's what I'm talking about. Stress heal. And I need stress heal. I was so grateful for every crit, because a crit, however small, does offer stress relief, at least to the character who does it. Whether it's healing, buffing, or debuffing, whatever. If it crits, they're gonna get some stress relief. Vital to a party that doesn't have that. And this is where I curse in that it's like the slowness. You wish you could kill that pig, but I had to save my Hellion. She could have smashed him with bleed damage, but she just I didn't have her protected on time, and he paid for it. So anyway, put as much damage we can on this Swanatar dude. Now she can do some strikes, so we're gonna try to polish him off with bleed. We're not gonna deal with him anymore. And all I need, if she could get the Swanatar champion down, then she can stay back there, because she is doing damage. As long as your party, you don't have to panic when your party is knocked out of position. It will happen, either through enemy skill or just, you'll make a mistake and hit the switch button. Something will happen. So, but as long as each character has something they can contribute that's worthwhile to the fight, even if they're out of position, you have that hair's breadth of leeway to say, okay, look, let me put a little bit of damage down, work this guy down. See, he's on bleed and he only has 1 hit point. We don't have to worry about him. On his next turn, he will die. So we only have to focus on these two. And the Vestal, the healing, just keeping everybody up. Finally got that pig. I was finally like, look, we gotta put this guy down. Too much stress damage, too much. He's causing debuffs. He's doing some bull crap. So anyway, 30 crit. Yeah, that single strike does way more damage than the double strike. But once again, accuracy is a problem, so you have to keep it there. So anyway, revenge on the Swanatar champion. from my Hellion because I just wanted that sweet, sweet revenge. So we got a little bit of loot, and this is how I like, guys. This isn't like doing darkness runs. Like I'm just not at that level yet. I'm working. I do darkness runs on the low level, the low tier quests. But as so far as doing like pitch black runs on champion level, like no, I'm just not ready yet. I need to just my team. There's a lot of mistakes I made. And I'm still working on getting the trinkets just right for each character. Collecting those vital ancestral trinkets, things that you need. Because the one thing that's key, and I would like to get this out to everyone, is that it doesn't matter. Trinkets can be equipped to any character, no matter what level, even if they're level 0, like fresh off the wagon. You can equip them with the most powerful trinkets, period. Ancestral level trinkets, ultra rare trinkets, class restricted trinkets that are really, really good. So anyway, since we're going to the boss, my philosophy when fighting, going to kill a boss, is always pick the easiest route. So anyway, back to the trinkets. You can equip, so you have a man-at-arms or a leper, and he's level 0. You can equip, that very rare protect plus 25 ring on him. There's no restrictions to trinket use, or I see him using the flag I got, the trophy I got from killing the swine god boss. I got Wilbur's flag that's 50% stun resist, plus I think it's minus 10% stress. So that does offer stress protection for my leper, because I know that's a problem. So as little anything you can do to help you, that's what you should do. So anyway, we got to another scout, which is good. We're gonna go. You don't, once again, you want to avoid as much trouble. So that hallway fight isn't desirable at the moment. But anyway, yeah, the trinkets. Equip their low level guys with the powerful trinkets. Get them through the dungeon alive. Get the money that you need to, raise up, perfect your more powerful heroes. Get rid of all the quirks. Armor maxed out, skills maxed out, camping skills all unlocked. You want every option available because each fight is different. You don't know what situation your party will be in, and you need to be able to camp really good. So spend the money to just get your people right. I mean, you will have to sacrifice people. You will get killed. So characters will die. You want to prevent that as much as possible, but it does happen. Also, dismissing, you should dismiss maybe 3 times as much as you get killed. Because it's better to dismiss them when they got this problem or that problem. They're sick. You have to spend, they're a level 1 recruit. You have to spend $6,000 to, get all their quirks and, get them de-stressed and healed up and, free of disease and free of quirks and locked in good quirks. Like, nah, you have to let that guy go, So, but it's better to let him go than to have him murdered in the dungeons. Because these things, I just imagine myself, like, what if this, put yourself in these guys' shoes. Imagine this is real life. You're going in some stinky, underground, rotten sewer full of pig monsters, half men, half pig soldiers. Like, they're an army of pig men that were headed up. At this time, I defeated the swine god, but they were headed up by this giant swine pig king. And then there's the formless flesh, which we're going to fight, lurking down here, just waiting to murder people. You know what I mean? So anyway, second boss fight. Once again, this time I remembered that the drum guy needs to be put down, but I kind of slept on the pig guy, and I really paid for that in the end. Blight, getting disease during quests is huge. Like, that's almost as worse than getting stressed out. I mean, they're almost equal in danger because if you get too much stress, you got there's a chance that you can have some kind of problem and start stressing yourself out and other people out. Plus, passing and just doing stuff in battle that just will get you killed. That breaking disciplines you can't control from too much stress, like that debilitates you. But getting a powerful disease like something that gives you minus 10 to speed and minus 10 to accuracy, something like that, it's like that's devastating. And there are some camping skills that can get rid of disease, but I mean, if you're in the middle of a fighting a formless flesh, or in the middle of a boss, whatever, you can't just get rid of that. And if in this party, none of my campers skills have the ability to get rid of disease. So I kind of messed up when I fought this. When I slept on the little pig dude because he's kind of out of position. But once he gets in position, he starts hawking up that vomit, and that can devastate you unchecked. So you're always learning as you play Darkest Dungeon. You're always trying to, you always have to pay attention to what you could have done better. See what happens. A lot of people I've noticed, they do complain about the difficulty, and a lot of it to me is like it has a steep learning curve. First you have to learn to keep your recruits alive, complete missions, get gold, have everybody come home safe. Like that's your number one priority. So things that buff your new recruits when you're first starting that, I'm speaking to people who maybe at the beginning of the game, not that experienced, or they're starting a new game, or they're curious about Darkest Dungeon. The first thing is take care of your people. Get the stagecoach up, because you can, that gives you more opportunity to get more people, and the more you upgrade it, you get better recruits. So you start off in a better position, and the good recruits, they come in with level 3 armor, level 3 skills, so like it cuts out a lot of expense. So they stage, and once heroes get messed up, you can just, once again, it's better to dismiss them than to try to treat them, especially early on, so you can save the money. You just want them to go in, complete the mission as best as possible, come home as safe as possible, hopefully everybody alive in one piece, come back with that gold and loot. And if they have a problem, it's better to let them go than to keep trying to send them to their deaths. Build up the loot, build up the characters. Some will stand out. Some of them will just, you'll know, like they come with good quirks. And also negative quirks are really easy to remove early on, like their seeker level, or the resolve level 1, resolve level 2. Treat them. Get rid of any kind of quirks. Get rid of -3% to crit. Get rid of slow on first round. Get rid of all this stuff, because that $800 that you spend, $850 of gold you spend, will save their lives like 50 times over in combat later on. So it's worth it. The good ones who stand out, make sure you're treating any negative quirks that comes up, because they're worth it. These are the guys that you're going to take in game. You want to raise them up early, protect them early, check them out early, because it's way cheaper earlier than later. So and also that goes with your sanctuary and the psychic ward. I would say I would upgrade those also, because you need, especially the sanctuary. The sanctuary, even the negative quirks you get from prayer and meditation, they're not so bad, because they only apply to the sanctuary. Most through God fearing, or they refuse to pray, or they always want to pray, or whatever. Some negative quirks also you don't have to treat, period, because it's like, it's a minor inconvenience. Just the guy don't want to pray, don't make him pray. Wait till gambling is open, or whatever you choose to do. But just, it's better that he doesn't want to pray, or he wants to pray all the time, than he has plus 20% stress against this creature, or plus 20% stress in general, or he minus 10% hit point, whatever, negative quirks or whatever. It's better. You don't want the ones that deal with the character in battle, or in traversing the land or whatever. So anything that has to do, like they won't gamble or whatever, that's better than the other stuff. So anyway, keeping your party alive, coming back successfully from missions, gaining the gold you need to cultivate the standouts. That's the best. That's the best thing to do early game, because when you get to this level, simple things like, see how that pig dodged her glaive? Like, what if she had plus, natural eye, plus, 5% natural to accuracy? That on top of a trinket, what if that prevents, there's always a chance she'll still miss, but there's way more of a chance that she'll hit. And when she does hit, it's the difference between, somebody being killed, herself being killed, or somebody just getting, your quest being hampered. See, look, we got a disease on my lepers and a disease on my cleric. To let that little pig baby be alive too long, I should have not focused on the hook guy because he just does bleed and physical damage. I should have let him alone and killed the baby pig first and the drummer. Well, I should have killed the drummer first because he's a stress causer, and then the baby pig second. That's what I should have done. But hey, shoulda, woulda, coulda. But that's how the battle went. So anyway, we are getting some loot, which I'm not concerned. I'm always got my eye out for loot, but as long as my people are alive, that's what I'm most concerned with. And once again, get rid of debuffs, get rid of everything that you possibly can. I wish I had the Crusader with me. I wish you could keep 5 people instead of 4, because it seems like some have such good moves. Like one of his camping skills is get rid of mortality debuffs. I think somebody can get rid of mortality debuffs on my team. I'm not sure. I don't remember going in here, but that's a very useful skill regardless. So anyway, just do a little bit. It gives you a little bit of break between the bosses. I was kind of figuring he was down in that corner, which I was correct, because they always put the boss in the furthest, like you have to travel the longest to get to him, by any path you choose to take. So anyway, I'm not going to go around down the bottom way because there's a fight down there. I want to go to the boss first, and I don't know what condition I'll be in when I come out of the boss. So you always want to be in tip-top shape. That's my philosophy. I mean, there's risk takers. I mean, if you want to get into like 3 or 4 fights before the boss fight, maybe you're the type that has your blood pumped, go ahead, but I would rather face the boss in best condition as possible. So anyway, one thing about the hunger events, you can turn hunger events into your advantage. Take enough food with you that you can that when the event comes up, all you do is eat a little bit. It repairs your health while you travel, and plus you pass that check. So anyway, we can use this. I could have used that to camp. That's what I should have done. But I didn't. I should have camped before here. I don't know why I didn't use a camp. But I guess I was so because the boss battle was hard. I'm like, look, I need to go in here and get this thing done. And she's really stressed out. That was insane. But like I say, I've made critical mistakes. I'm not a perfect. I'm not, like I say, I'm not an expert at the game. I'm learning as I go. And just watch. When I make these videos for y'all, when I edit these, when I do all the editing and arrange the music and sound and narration, when I do all this, it's like it helps me too, because I'm watching my own gameplay and I'm seeing, okay, yeah, I remember that I should have done this, I should have done that. And impatience was one of them. I should have took a camp in that empty room right before the boss. But also, I think I remember I didn't want to risk a night. So anyway, first off, we have the dangerous giant pig horse hooves. I call them horse heads. And then we have the pig guts, which they have the snake inside, which is heavy physical damage, blight, medium physical damage, and blight and bleed, the status effect. They do blight, and the horse heads do bleed and heavy physical damage, as you can find out watching this fight. Like 13 damage. Like if you look, that's a third of her health, just about, for each hit. 19 on my leper, so he has to get critical plus bleed. The horse heads, they just don't play. Already so much work for my cleric. She's already taking damage, and this is also where the speed of my party comes to hurt me, because I didn't get the protect off for either my cleric or the man-at-arms. When you protect someone, you get that that bonus to your protect stat, and that would have prevented that heavy crit that crit wouldn't have been so bad and plus she wouldn't have got hit either if he had gone faster and protected her. But I mean, I have to do with, I have the cards I'm given. I realize that these horse heads are really powerful. So I was debating, boosting my Hellion first off, but I shouldn't. Another mistake: you never attack the horse heads unless you're in desperation, like you need to put down that damage quickly, because the horse heads and the rib cages are probably the most sturdiest enemies you can face. Like, I mean, they're just insanely thick. I mean, they just soak damage. And I was hoping to get the bleed, which I didn't. The pig guts, they can be bleeded, they can be blighted, but they're very resistant to it. So anyway, I'm trying to get damage off because I'm already in fear, but it's like, no, he probably needs to heal. He needs to protect because, I'm trying to take some of the burden off my healer. She's blighted and she just got an affliction. We have a shape change from the Formless flesh, and he, that's the soft part. That's the part you want to hit, and the damage we have done is immediately healed. But the thing though is you have access to the heart, so to speak. But anyway, I put my speed up because I realized that was hurting my party so much, but now I still need to protect her. And she ran out of the blight, but she's diseased, so I forgot the debuffs to her disease, but that hurt me in this fight. Bleed on my man-at-arms, which cuts through defense. It's like this thing doesn't play. Once again, 21 damage. So it's like, who do I heal first? Those type of panic moments come up. So anyway, I'm lucky to use get the bandage off. We need to get that. I'm getting the speed up because we need to go first. And I need with Iron Swan. Boom! This is what I need for the Hellion for, because she can reach that back row, she can reach the front row, and she does a lot of damage. So 24. We take, I would say maybe 10% of its health in that strike, which is pretty good. I'm trying to keep my leper healed up. I probably should have used protect first, then heal. But, I didn't. You're in the middle of a situation, you have to make the decisions you made. So anyway, the soft part is close. You always want to take advantage because it won't be there all the time. 38 crit, which you can see that's a good portion. So we got it down to a third health, but once again, it can heal itself. And 7 is powerful. The healing of those those blood vessel things you can't sleep on that. If you're not putting out maybe 3 times as much as they're healing, those things will overwhelm you like very quickly. So anyway, everybody's kind of in bad shape. I need him to stay alive, my man-at-arms, because he does have that natural protect even without the bonus. I just need to get, now that our speed is off, I need to get him into protecting the cleric. You just have to, if you're at a rhythm or mistakes are being made, you have to just adjust. And here I should have used the first chop on the I should have used the first chop on the heart, but I tried to go for double damage with the double chop, but that didn't, a double dodge, just foils your plan. See, accuracy is tough, but on the same note though, what if I use a single chop on the blood vessel and it still got a dodge? So you can't let setbacks like that say, oh crap, or in the battle. You have to keep going. You have to say, this is what I need to do. I need to keep doing this. So boom, we finally get the buff off. I get the buff off and I protect the cleric. And now all I have to do, she doesn't have to worry about him. See, that's a crit, but still it's only 6 damage. We heal the blight with, the items you brought. Cleric, she can put down the heal. See, crit 40, annihilating my leper. That's the craziness of this, how powerful this boss fight is. So anyway, we still have an exposed heart, but he's out of position of our leper. We couldn't get the double damage on it. And this is where the usefulness of the vessel comes in. You want everybody to live. You want everybody to get off death's door. So crit heal on my man-at-arms. My leper is off death's door. We don't have to worry about that check. And then we get a 10 heal from the blood vessel, which is just, you just like, it's disheartening because it's like I've barely done a third damage to this thing. I've got 2 death's door status debuffs on my heroes, you know, critical health on 2 heroes, and this thing has 4 turns. So it's like you're wondering, what do I do next? How should I proceed? You know, what can I do to, you know, turn the tide in my favor? Because, you know, it's just it's crazy, you know, and you're waiting for each one to be able to do what their job to do is. And, you know, if it's to deal damage, to deal damage. If it's to heal. And it's just when you get the dodges, and then and when your damage dealers are getting crit, you know, beyond the capacity of your healer to keep up, it's, you know, it's a very frightening situation. So I'm debating, how do I put a little extra damage on these powerful hits that I'm getting? So I can do 3. That takes, and every little bit counts, because he healed for 10 last round. That's 3 damage, plus anytime I get a riposte off, whatever amount of damage that equals, you know, I get that. So once again, the heart's still exposed, so 12. We're putting positive damage on him. He resisted the bleed, which sucks. It's like unbelievable. 4 crit, so we're putting that damage right back onto him, because that 12 still counts, even though it hit one of the softer, you know, a different part of the pig. You know, now all we have to do is keep these 2 alive. Once again, he's back on death's door. He loses the death's door debuff and gets, there's 2 different types. The red skull means you're in serious trouble from getting hit. The gray one just means, you know, things are tough. So anyway, he has the ability to heal himself, pull himself off that death's door, and he crit healed, which is, you know, that's stuff like that you can't reproduce. And, you know, he gets the buff, and now we got 2 hearts because he's down past looks like 60% health. So he's, you know, kind of panicking. The Formless flesh will change its strategy if it sees it's taking a lot of damage, you know, within a certain amount of time. It will try to double heal itself, but also it's like a, you know, a 2-edged sword. It can double heal, but also it can be hit doubly with, you know, your damage dealers, you know, and then still see those little hits that riposte, simple things like that, it takes away their healing. See, it only healing for 8, 6, you know, that's what you need. Is just to be able to keep that going. And now I still have riposte status on, so I need to keep my healer healed, because if she has to heal herself, the other people won't get healed, and your team will break down just like a car with no gas and like 2 flat tires on the rear end. I mean, and your engine like needed an oil change like 30 years ago. Like, your team will break down. So anyway, put the damage down when you have the opportunity. See, 19 takes off that little 6, that little 2. Trying to go for the double here. We got 15 on that, plus a crit. Below 50% health for Formless flesh. We still have an exposed heart, because now the strategy is going to try to deal damage with blight and bleed and physical damage from the horse head. Also, that spine stuns your party, so, and it also absorbs damage. It's very thick, you know. It's just, you're not going to put hardly any damage on it. And then, you know, it has 1 blood vessel for healing, but once again, it's still exposed, and my healer is still in play. When, you know, she's protected, when she's guarded, that, you know, everybody's in a better shape. Because see, she's getting the group heals off, and she, with only 2 damage dealers, with only 1 horse head, well, major damage dealers, she can still come out with the divine grace, which is what I'm really waiting on, is for her to get free of this massive group damage, to get everybody off critical, so she can pull off the better heal, the divine grace heal. See, and just having the health to soak up the hit points matters. So anyway, look, we can try to get this heart. Yes, 14. Every little piece works, because that keeps that heart exposed, so we can try to heal. And also, you are in a race against time. Over time, you build up stress, You get critted, things go the boss's way. So you want to do as much damage as possible, but you're also in a race against time. So anything that does progressive hit point damage to the boss, whatever strategy you use, whatever team you use, that's what you want to be doing. And see he's protected, so he might as well put some damage down. Once again, that 4 and 4 equals 8. That's one more thing that those blood vessels have to heal. He's still trying to go with damage, stun. He's trying to slow me down while dealing damage. He's trying to slow my healer down, slow down my defenses with stunning with the spine, while trying to heal himself, off critical. That's what he's trying to do. But once again, with 2 hearts exposed, and the ability to do the damage that we need from both our damage dealers, we can hope, that's where you try to outpace his damage. So you're getting 7s, 8s, 10s, that range. So you need to be doing more than that. Once again, you should have used a chop. It's mightier. 17 isn't that great. Sometimes you and chop seem to like it be interchangeable. Like I kind of wish I did chop, because maybe I would have got 17 on the heart and 4 or 5 on, or maybe even 7 on the horse head, But hey, it happened how it happened. Once again, make sure that everyone's protected, everyone's doing what they need to do. Crit damage, plus gotta bleed off, putting the Formless flesh on, not on the ropes, because it's still alive. Once again, it's screw it. We're not gonna have hardly any weak spots, because these exposed hearts are getting us killed. We just need to focus down. Try to chew up my line, stunning, whipping, bleeding, blighting, bleeding. Just try to eat. Now it's just trying to eat me alive before it goes down. So here is like when everyone needs their speed up. Everyone needs to be protected. I want to get my man back in position, because that can cost me in the long run. And also, like, even though, let's get rid of that bleed. You need to get that done. And even though just I see that with the 2 horse heads, that's his strategy, to try to eat me alive, with physical damage and stuns and blights. So I use the time to protect myself, because the healer will put up the hit points. And that's one of the things I didn't realize in this fight, is that I need those guys to focus on protection first, then their secondary ability, which is, for the leopards to do damage, and for the man-at-arms is to protect. He needs to protect first, guard first, then, his second ability is to buff. So anyway, we got a death door, but I don't worry about that, because she has the ability to heal herself. And once again, it's better that the hero stay alive than that you get off damage at this point, because if you keep them alive, they will do the damage sooner or later, no matter how powerful. See that we got bleed, so he has a death door check, unless the cleric gets her turn first before him, and he doesn't get hit or killed by the other attacks from the whatchamacallit. But anyway, keep them alive. Those death door checks really suck. So anyway, I guess he decided not to go with the blight snake whip. We got 2 far away blood vessels. He's trying to get off critical now. We're on critical, but here we go with that divine grace. It puts him off death's door, plus it's enough of a pool to absorb the bleed damage. All he has to do is not be hit, or not be hit as hard. It's incredibly crazy and tight, but you have to keep everybody in check. Protect who needs to be protected. See, right now she has no health. I don't want another death door check from her. And the horse head can't target my cleric, and the blood vessels only heal. So they only had 2 attacks, and my cleric had a danger. She doesn't need to be protected. So anyway, crit, but we have the protect. We're able to absorb that damage, even though we have blight and bleed. If we do get death door, we want the cleric to go next. I probably should have used Iron Swan, but here we go with 16 plus bleed. But I think if Iron Swan missed, so that would have been pretty bad. So anyway, keep people healed up, keep people alive. He's almost on the ropes. You know what I mean? You just have to be patient, because see, a stun here, but that doesn't hurt him. And he resisted the stun, so that's basically the Formless Flesh wasted this move. Now we lost the chance for the double heal, but you can hit the pig guts. And see, finally they decided to switch. My healer's unprotected in the back row, so they switched to the pig guts and use that strike. So she's on blight, she's unprotected. If the bone thing, if the spine column hits her, that can put her on death's door, and then the blight can death's door check her and kill her on her turn. So you know what I mean. Once again, I just need to get that health up, keep him off death's door, which stands on death's door because of the bleed and blight. And you have to remedy that as soon as possible, because how many more of those can he survive? And it's like we have to keep the cleric from getting shot by something, because we can still do damage with the leper. If things are going to go south, or you feel things are going to go south, you have to be careful. And see, he's already on death's door. I'm thinking, who can he protect? He's going to just get death's door checked out anyway. So it's like, I might as well do riposte. So if he does get targeted, we can just put that extra damage down on our people. We'll see, he's got the protect up, so we get riposte because he protected the Hellion, so that we're getting a little bit of damage. And you can put damage, like the bleed is on him, plus the little bitty chips we're taking out of him. As long as he doesn't have that, whatchamacallit, the hearts, he can't heal that. So anyway, we got 8 damage from the double strike from the leper. The bleed did 8, so really chewing up his health, but he's off bleed, and we have a heart, a blood vessel exposed, and luckily it's on the front 2 rows, exposed to my leper, exposed to my Hellion, exposed to the man of arms with riposte. Definitely trying to keep himself off critical while killing us with blight and bleed, and plus the strikes from death's door. We got put on death's door, but we got a crit riposte. So I mean, and see this group heal ability, we're figuring I could just kill this guy right now. Like, don't even give him another chance instead of try to, group heal. So anyway, that finishes off the Formless Flesh. I figure he only has 1 hit point left. Don't give him another chance. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm your host, The Raven. Like, comment, subscribe.